Topic: Intonation. Part 3. Rising intonation. What is it? What does it communicate? Rising intonation is a pattern in which your voice rises to a high pitch by the end of a thought group or statement. It communicates uncertainty. You are not sure of the truth, and/or you are asking the listener to answer yes or no to a question. It can also communicate lack of finality. With rising intonation, you may be telling your listener that you're not done speaking. You might be thinking of something else to add. So it's very important to understand and master rising and falling intonation. With too much rising intonation in your speech, you can come across as unsure, and your listener might not know when you're done speaking. Now let me give you an example of rising intonation.
Eric plays the flute, clarinet, and saxophone. Isn't that great? In this example, we have a sentence and a question. That means we have at least two thought groups. Let's mark those. Here and down here. Now let's work backwards. Isn't that great? The final content word is great. That means this is the point where our voice will go up. Great has one syllable, so we only have one syllable to make our voice glide up. Great. And we're using rising intonation because this question requires a yes or no answer. By asking, "Isn't that great?" we expect our listener to agree with us and say yes. Now let's look at the sentence. It's broken up by two commas, one after flute and two after clarinet. We're actually dealing then with three thought groups. If you remember from previous lessons on thought groups, commas tell us to pause. So if we have three thought groups, then we also can talk about three final content words that receive stress. They are flute, clarinet, and saxophone. Now this sentence is a list. We're listing information. Eric plays three instruments. 1, 2, 3. When we have a list, we use rising intonation in each phrase until we get to the final item of the list. So, we're actually going to go up on flute, then we'll go up again on clarinet. This is our final item in the list, so we're going to go down. Okay. Listen to how I read that sentence. Eric plays the flute, clarinet, and saxophone. Again, when we are listing items, one possible pattern is to use rising intonation in each phrase until we get to the last one. In this case, it's saxophone. Again, the number of syllables makes a difference in how we rise or fall. Flute has one syllable, so we only have one syllable to make our voice glide up. Clarinet has three syllables, clarinet, but it's the final syllable that is stressed, and there's a pause right after, which means there's nothing following.